can create their draft strategy to accommodate. That is a huge loss. Let me be clear. A.J. Brown, that is not an easy thing to replace, or I think Rabes needs to take a second here.
The Tennessee Titans traded A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles in the offseason. In 3 years in Tennessee, A.J. was constantly proving that he was one of the best wide receivers in the league. But the Titans didn't want to pay him and shipped him off for a first-round pick. That first-round pick turned into Treylon Burks, who hasn't been as good as you would have hoped. And on Sunday, A.J. Brown absolutely torched his former team. 2 days later, Tennessee fired its general manager, Jon Robinson. Trading A.J. Brown has left a huge stain on the Titans organization. Tennessee has gotten significantly worse since the trade. Meanwhile, the Eagles have shot up as the best team in football. The A.J. Brown revenge game. The Tennessee Titans visited the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday in Week 13, meaning A.J. Brown faced off against his former team for the first time since he was traded away in the offseason, and he dominated. A.J. Brown finished the game with 8 catches for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns, and made the Titans wonder why they ever traded him away in the first place. His first touchdown came early in the second quarter in a tie game, and boy was he wide open. There were absolutely no defenders anywhere close to him, and he walked in backwards to the end zone for a touchdown. You'd think the Titans of all teams would know just how dangerous A.J. Brown can be, and that you should probably keep an eye out for him. His second touchdown of the game was insanely impressive to say the least. Earlier in the second quarter, with the Eagles up 11, Jalen Hurts dropped back and put a perfectly placed ball to A.J. Brown, and he made an incredible grab. It definitely had to take immense levels of concentration to make. Trey Avery was all over him, and Brown essentially made the catch right over him for the touchdown. Philadelphia as a whole proved that they were a much better team than the Titans. Tennessee just couldn't run the football. The Eagles' defensive front is so good that Derrick Henry couldn't do anything. He finished the day with 30 yards on 11 carries. The Titans really could have used more help from the passing game. Ryan Tannehill was fine. 14 of 22 for 141 yards and a touchdown. That lone touchdown, by the way, was to Treylon Burks. Late in the first quarter, Tannehill hit him in stride, and Burks made the catch between 2 defenders for the score. His first career receiving touchdown. That was his only catch of the game. In fact, no Titans wide receiver had more than 1 catch. The Eagles beat the Titans in almost every single facet. Philadelphia had 453 total yards of offense to Tennessee's 209, and won 35-10. It rubbed some salt on the wound for Titans fans and made them reminisce of what once was when A.J. Brown was in Tennessee. The Tennessee Titans selected A.J. Brown in the second round of the 2019 NFL Draft. He walked into Tennessee and immediately made a huge impact. As a rookie, Brown had over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns on 52 receptions. He followed it up in 2020 with another 1,000-plus yard season and 11 touchdowns on 70 catches, and that was all while missing 2 games due to knee injuries. He ended up undergoing surgery in the offseason, and Brown ended up missing some time in 2021 with a chest injury that landed him on injured reserve. In 13 games, Brown recorded 63 catches for 869 yards and 5 touchdowns. Brown was incredible in his first 3 years with the Titans. He wasn't a first-round pick, so there was no fifth-year option, and that meant that Tennessee had to pay him, trade him, or let him walk for nothing. During the 2022 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles traded the 18th overall pick to the Tennessee Titans for A.J. Brown. The Eagles inked him to a 4-year, $100 million deal that keeps him in Philadelphia through 2026. No surprise, A.J. Brown is still a stud. Through 12 games this year, A.J. Brown has 950 yards and 9 touchdowns on 61 receptions. He's made the Eagles' passing game significantly better, and been the true number 1 that Philadelphia searched for so long. The Philadelphia Eagles were solid in 2021, going 9-8 and making the playoffs. This year has been very different though. Philadelphia is 11-1 and the best team in the NFL. There are a ton of reasons for why the Eagles are so good. For one, Philadelphia dominates the line of scrimmage on both sides of the field. I think the Eagles absolutely have the best offensive line in the league, and you can make the case that they have the best defensive line too. I would say Dallas is still 1, but Philadelphia is right there too. The defense as a whole is amazing, and a very frustrating unit for opposing offenses to deal with. On the offensive side of the ball, the Eagles look very different, and I credit a lot of that to A.J. Brown. I think Devontae Smith is a very good wide receiver. He's played in every game this season and has over 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. I think you can argue that he could be a number 1 wide receiver in the league, but I'd prefer him as a very good number 2, and that's exactly what he is in Philadelphia. Defenses have to double team and pay extra attention to AJ Brown because, well, he's AJ Brown, and it's opened the door for Devontae Smith to succeed. The biggest player that the AJ Brown trade has affected is without a doubt Jalen Hurts. He's getting talked about as an MVP level player this year, and I don't think that's the case without AJ Brown there. I think one of the biggest reasons why Philadelphia traded for Brown was to see if Hurts had what it takes to be the long-term solution at quarterback, and I think he's proven that. He has 2 amazing wide receivers and an offensive line that gives him all day to throw the ball. The Eagles are good this year because everyone is contributing and doing their job at an elite level, and AJ Brown is a big reason for that. The Tennessee Titans have inherently gotten worse by trading AJ Brown, as you'd probably expect. You trade away one of the best wide receivers in the league, and you're probably bound to be worse. And you never guess what the Titans' biggest problem this year is: pass catchers. Nobody in Tennessee has over 400 yards receiving. The offense already relied on Derrick Henry a lot, but now he's essentially the entire offense. He has over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns already this year. If he isn't on, the Titans are going to not just lose, but potentially get blown out. Tennessee has a good defense and a good running game, but this is a pass-first league, and the Titans are just not good at it. Tennessee is 7-5, and they're going to be able to sleepwalk into the playoffs with how bad the AFC South is, but nobody really thinks the Titans can make a run once they get there. Once you get to the playoffs, you have to be able to drive down the field and pass the ball in late situations, and frankly, I have no faith that the Titans will be able to do that, especially without a number 1 wide receiver like AJ Brown. The Tennessee Titans made a very odd decision on Tuesday to fire general manager Jon Robinson. I don't fully understand the timing here, honestly. The Titans have 5 games left in the season and are going to win the AFC South. Robinson was a very well-respected general manager and had been in the position since 2016. I really don't think that the AJ Brown trade would be the reason for his firing, but he did get fired 2 days after AJ Brown absolutely torched the Titans. You have to give Jon Robinson some kind of credit for drafting AJ Brown though, even though he did turn around and trade him, and the return they got on that trade isn't really looking great. The 18th pick of the draft, which Tennessee used on Treylon Burks. Burks was coming off of an 1,100-yard year where he scored 11 touchdowns at Arkansas, and his very common pro comparison was AJ Brown, but he just hasn't lived up to it yet. He is only a rookie, so it is really hard to look at him under a microscope, and who knows what he'll turn into. But the fact that he was, in a way, traded directly for AJ Brown is just a bad look for Tennessee. He did spend some time on injured reserve with turf toe this season, so he's played in 8 games and has 359 yards and a single touchdown. I don't know why the Tennessee Titans traded away AJ Brown. It was a terrible decision, and everyone knew that. I also don't understand why the Titans fired Jon Robinson. I'm just confused as to what's going on in Tennessee, but it feels like the Titans are doing everything wrong.